is Jan Gustafsson coming to you from a basement in Hamburg. And on the fourth floor in Paris, France, we have the Mind Games winner 2012, Laurent Fressinet. Laurent, how are you today?
I'm good, but you already know about that because we were talking earlier this afternoon.
I didn't ask
So,
about your mood earlier.
okay, I'm good. Ding is back, so it's my boy. Even if he didn't give me a call, I forgave him. He won that game, so yeah, I'm following, of course, the World Championship match, and it's been very exciting so far.
All Ding needs is Richie and 80s music. He doesn't have to call you.
Yeah, Bundesliga games. What's not to like?
We'll get into all of it, but the mystery man, the world traveler, Peter Heine Nielsen, is coming to us from an undisclosed location. Peter, where are you?
I am in my childhood home in Holstebro, Denmark, so no secrets there. But I have spent, I would say, most of the day in another country. That's not fully true. I've been into Legoland since early morning with an 8-year-old, and was while you guys was busy studying the games and doing recaps, I was doing water slides and stuff like that. So it's been a great day, but I'm absolutely tired, and I'm basically planning to fall asleep during this episode. But I'll try and hang in there for a while.
Excellent. Just to set the record straight, while you were at Legoland, you were thinking about openings for Magnus.
That is true, of course, because that you're right. No, my subconscious was busy at that point, but and the computer was running at home actually. So
For
yeah,
sure.
you're right. Thanks for reminding me. It's good. Else that would have been a unfortunate miss. But
Yeah.
as I said, I'm really tired.
All right, let me talk about my day. I got up early, did commentary on the World Championship match. It was a fun day. Game 4 of the day of recording for a couple hours. Then we recorded the Chicken Chess Club recap of game number 4. We're expanding into also becoming a commanding YouTube power. Today we replaced Peter, who was very busy, with Peter Svidler. I'm not sure if Peter approves, but it was good to see the Svidmaster back in action. Then I did, of course, the German recap, the Janistan TV. Picked up my kid from kindergarten, had dinner, went to the gym, and here we are. Fun day of saying the same things over and over again about chess. So
Yeah, Peter was impressive. During the post-mortem, we are not used to such standards.
Thanks.
He was giving some nice explanations and overthinking with his brain. Maybe I don't know. Trying to use it, unlike us.
yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting.
What's the point, Peter? We have ChatGPT, we have Stockfish 15. Why think? All right, let's jump into the action, and we gotta start with the story that's dominating the chess world. The World Championship match in Astana has started. 4 rounds have been played. Current score, I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school there, is 2-2 after Ding won in round number 4. But let's start at the very beginning. Game 1, Marshall, great opening. But how do we feel about Ding sticking to the opening he always plays? Was that expected, smart, stupid? Peter, what do you think?
Again, you're just simply not checking my Twitter. I tweeted 1 hour before
muted.
and that kills my ratings. But you're losing out on content. 1 hour before, I said that this one, the first game is going to be a Marshall. So I think I was spot on there. So no, for me, no surprise.
What about good or bad?
I think it's reasonable. I mean, why not? But of course, it felt a bit funny that both of them seemed to be just doing the usual repertoire. So we're not going to see any surprises. But they started coming. But no, I think it's a reasonable choice for Ding. Why not? I mean, well, the problem was not so much his opening. well, he got a hit a little bit, but he seemed incredibly shaky. But in the first games, but I guess I'm jumping ahead, so I will pass it over to Laurent.
No, I didn't like. No surprises. He was out of book. Very surprised by a great and very hidden idea of Nepo. But yeah, zero surprise and
Wasn't that hidden? We have to talk about that. This move.
yeah.
7 rookie 1, because of course I bragged about it being in my Chessable course and gave the recommendations. And then Magnus asked if we had checked it in 2016 or 2021. He claimed he had never seen that move before.
Yeah.
And I was afraid, Peter, to answer honestly because I didn't reveal any secrets of the preparation. But what can you tell us?
Well, I asked him a bit later in the evening if I could actually. I sent him a screenshot of our actual prep in that position, and I asked him if I could tweet it, and he said sure. Well, then I was too lazy to do it. I simply thought he would mix up my content too much, so I didn't do it. But well, we did cover Rookie 1, but let's put it like that: our lines was rather brief, and they were most likely made by you, I think.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Oh, it's not criticism.
First of all, it was covered, and the one you're referring to, without going into too many secrets, was not the full version. And I think for the short version, that was reasonable coverage, actually. So the answer, Magnus, is yes. Was in your files. Our hands are clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess is he reading our files? I guess at times,
case by case.
Yeah, case by case. So probably maybe it was.
I think in World Championships he might actually be. I mean,
yeah.
So no, but also, I mean, seriously, for someone like Magnus, I mean, does it actually make sense to prepare against Rookie 1? I don't think so.
I don't think it's a big worry. Like you put in something small as we did. This exists.
Yeah, but that is.
But it's unlikely he's gonna be in too much trouble.
But we are doing that for our sake, not for his, I think.
Yeah, of course, to cover the bases as we're doing here.
No.
But no, it depends what you want to do. No, Black has 2 options. That's not a secret. You can go Bishop G4, which is sharp, or Knight D7 as Ding
but
played,
I mean, he would never go Bishop G4 if it's winning for Black. They would never play it. If it's winning for White, it would be a mistake. I mean, he will just play something, be slightly worse, and win. I mean, it would.
Yeah, as for Ding, I don't think the opening was too big a deal, but he wasn't very precise and got in trouble. Some strange moves down the stretch, in particular, some C6 move I really didn't like. But he survived, got a draw.
Well, and C6, then you call it strange. It was actually just bad, right? I mean,
yeah, it's bad, but it's also so ugly. Yeah. Like, if it's a normal move that is bad, you can understand it, but it's a move you feel is just really, really ugly, weakening all kinds of squares. And if you play the structure plenty, as any Marshall, Berlin, whatever player does, you also, it should be in your system. So I was very confused how he came to that conclusion.
I thought Nepom's prep was cool in terms of objectively, it seems to be nothing, but it actually posed some kind of practical problems. And well, this was one of the recaps I actually joined in. And well, I felt Black is fine, but he has to play a bit atypical moves. So I kind of liked it, but of course it's also very telling. And we will get it onto the next game that these days, I mean, give people half a year, they're not going to find anything concrete, right?
No, I was going to say that's any preparation with the white pieces. No, like, I mean, ideally you pose some practical problems, but you're not going to refute the Marshall, the Petrov, the Berlin. Anyway, Ding survives that one. Sorry.
And the main thing I thought about that game, I mean, like, of course, there were a lot of content, but I mean, Ding was as he put it later in the match, he was hiding in the restroom, which is not, I mean, generally Ding is staying at the board. Thinking. So it was very clear that he felt very, very uncomfortable, and even said at the press conference, so he moved from the official hotel to another hotel because he felt uncomfortable. So
in the morning of the first game.
Yeah, so all of this was weird. Did you prepare for the game? I didn't really prepare for the game because I was too emotional. After one E4, I started to think for more than a minute. Well, everything was weird in Ding's behavior. Actually, it felt really scary.
He also looked almost physically sick. No, I think he also mentioned he was freezing. He was wearing this huge white winter jacket
Yeah, that
inside.
was.
He looked like this picture of the Pope.
I mean,
Excuse
the
me.
moves were not that bad, but also, I mean, his play was not great, but also his behavior was even more worrying than his play, I would say.
No, I
Yeah.
thought in some way, I always thought that someone who doesn't play a World Championship match, I don't think is a huge disadvantage, but they will probably be vulnerable in the first couple of games. I've never been sort of part of trying to successfully exploit that, but to me it seems very much what had happened here. That I mean, something seemed massively on with off with Ding, and I mean the first two games was pretty horrifying in a way. And also, well, I mean, you get the press conference. He seems unbalanced, as we said. I mean, while as a FIDE critic, I can enjoy him moving hotels. It sounds completely insane to do something like that at that point, right? I mean, it was.
Actually, it reminds me a bit of Kayakin in 2016 when Kayakin was very nervous in the first press conference before the match. And then Magnus decided to try the Trompovsky, which was clearly something to just
But
to play
Kayakin played
chess.
well that game. No, I was
Yeah.
also thinking of
Yeah.
Caruana, who was lost in the first game with
Yeah.
White against Magnus, and even Magnus himself in his first
Yeah,
match,
yeah, yeah.
memory serves. Those were some very shaky first 4 games, actually.
Yeah.
Until
Three, but
maybe
yeah,
3.
yeah, that was incredibly shaky actually. Yeah,
No, but I mean, also as Jan pointed out, some of the chess decisions. I mean, well, for Ding to play c6 is puzzling in a way. I mean, no, it there was no written or basically just the chess understanding seemed a bit off. But I mean, I guess we could attribute it to nerves and not being mentally ready. No, I used the word insane before. That's of course wrong, but I mean, something seemed to be off basically, right? And well, I mean, even if Ding was gifted this kind of chance for a world championship match, both in a number of ways, then, well, of course, when you get it, you suddenly start getting nervous, I assume.
Yeah, I was hoping for him in some way that he was nervous in game 1 and we'll get to game 2, because you could also read it as this is the same level that he showed in Vike, which was pretty bad for his standards as a 2800 player. And you could also think this is just him after the pandemic, lack of practice, isolation, whatever happened there, that he doesn't have the level anymore. But we'll get to that. It looks like he's been stabilizing. First game number 2, though. We've talked about the games in the videos. He had this opening idea by his star second, Richie Rapport. Also seems to be the only second. No, I'm not sure if there are any secret clickers, but it looks like he's just playing Richie ideas or his old Marshall. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. I hope we find out more about that after the match.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I
that
mean,
will be amazing. I think.
I'm a huge fan. It just seems like,
Yeah,
well,
no, I mean,
they're
that's not to
redefining
lie.
how these things should be done. We look completely idiotic if this works. I mean,
might very well. They seem to be having a good time.
Yeah.
Stuff preparing. They're listening to Bob Dylan or whatever 80s music, and then they just play something. Yeah, we wanted 4H3 here. Might get one book. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I will say about 4H3, I think it's a great idea. But if you're
Agreed.
completely unbalanced, maybe play something solid and make a draw. I mean,
Yeah, if you're not ready to play G3, might be a better move to get a game H3. I thought it was smart.
Yeah. No, I liked it a lot. It just seems that if you're completely off, it's really mixing your strategies up with, against your mental balance. But no, it backfired tremendously, right? I mean, it's.
I think Peter, you made a very good summary of the game in the recap of Ding's play. That he didn't take a single good decision on his own. I mean, the prep was nice, but then everything. I mean, like every time he had to play, he had to take a decision. It was just a wrong one, and well, I think he just lost in less than 30 moves or something. I mean, like something really fast.
No, I mean, and to be fair, it was maybe some difficult decisions, but even so, it was no, it's.
But you don't expect him to get them all
Bishop
that wrong and to miss G6, F6 and so on. It was not his level.
I mean, doing Bishop D3 and back to C2. Okay, it's
yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's just wasting 2 tempi. It's a heavily sharp position, right? It's game over. No, this was shocking.
Yeah, so Ding not looking like himself at all. Everyone said, okay, match might be over. He has to make it out of game 3. The good news for Ding supporters, is that he did. Nepomniachtchi started with one d4, which we haven't seen in the last match. He's been toying with it a bit over the last 2-3 years, but we weren't sure if it was serious or just a distraction for Ding. Looks like he's ready to play both d4 and e4. There's a quote that I read in a group chat we have by the famous Peter Nielsen that every World Championship preparation starts with looking for an idea against the Nimzo Indian, and it looks like Team Nepo has done that as well, to limit the playing field in 1d4. Now, I'm not sure if people get what I'm talking about, but if you play 3 knight f3, you have to deal with so many systems. So playing the Nimzo or preparing against the Nimzo felt like a logical choice.
It's a bit worse these days because, as happened in the game, 3d5 has become a very respectable move, right? But at some point there was a logic to it. I just want to make one point before we go on, is that, well, I also thought, okay, this match could be over after 2 games. But, well, then I also started thinking, has there been any World Championship match in history who just had one narrative and that was it? I mean, normally there is a lot of backs and forths, right? I mean, even, well, everybody knows he's 2-2. Now we think Ding is certainly the favorite. But
Kramnik
normally
Anand?
the pendulum... Sorry?
Back and forth, Kramnik Anand after game 3? I mean, like...
Kramnik Anand was perhaps the one you could argue that was
most
just...
straightforward.
That was maybe very straightforward, you could argue, yes.
That was incredible.
I mean, like, as a... Nepomniachtchi maybe as well. No, you could argue once Carlsen when the game was over, but it was 10.
I mean, it was 2.5. Nepomniachtchi was technically winning in game 6, so, I mean, there was some kind of story, right? But I agree. But just that after 2 games, we say, okay, this is game over. I mean, well, Fischer was behind 2-0, right?
But then after 6-7 games, it was very clear, yeah? That he
I mean, if I should sort of, well, paraphrase what Kasimdzhanov would say at some point, he would say, okay, this was the moment to finish off your opponent. I thought game 3, you could argue, was a pretty big chance for Nepomniachtchi in a way, that he wanted to crush the guy. Maybe now was the time. But things seemed very balanced in that game, I have to say.
Yeah, also it felt like Nepomniachtchi, I'm sure he came into the game with that game plan, but then once he was maybe slightly surprised by this d5 and Ding's approach, didn't feel like he pushed very hard, like by his decisions down the stretch. He decided to simplify pretty much at the first chance with bishop b5, dc5. You can play there, queen d2, knight f4, whatever, there are many moves. So it felt like deep down inside he was also a bit adjusting to being in the lead.
Also, to me, it seemed like Nepomniachtchi ended up somewhere that didn't particularly suit him. I mean, he could be slightly better, maybe he's not, but it's a position I doubt he has very much experience with, right? And he was playing sort of some theory, right? Sorry?
Yeah, some games. I remember we were commentating on one with Yannick in Dortmund long time ago. He played a good game, I remember. But not too many experience. But I thought about one match, a World Championship match, which was one-way traffic, Kasparov short.
Okay,
that was painful.
Not a FIDE match. We don't acknowledge those.
No, we don't acknowledge them.
But Niger is in FIDE, no?
And this is
no. There were some more which were one-sided. Like, who is it?
But I agree. It doesn't happen. Yeah,
sure. I mean, but it's not the typical thing. Of course, it can happen. Sure. But I mean, well, again, I'm not the one to badmouth Nigel, right? But Kasparov short, well, there's always some class problem in a way, right?
Oh,
no,
shots fired. We already have some problem with Hikaru now with Nigel. Who's next?
Okay. Yeah,
we can't maintain that many beefs at once.
Where
were we?
we were starting sort of in game 3 in the middle game, I would say.
Yeah, Ding makes a solid draw there, even refuses to simplify at some point and pushes Nepomniachtchi a bit, not like to the verge of defeat, but it was good to him trying a little and showing he's ready to play, making some good decisions in that game like bishop d7. I also think the opening choice, he was maybe a little surprised, but was smart, as you explained. He might be slightly worse, but it's a structure where the price of a move is not that high, and he had some time to get into the game. So Ding stabilizes, makes a draw. Looked very happy.
And he looked like a normal player again, right? I mean, this was a clean game of chess, right? I mean, well, he even put his... I mean, you could argue maybe Magnus would have pushed a bit harder for black, but maybe it just wasn't there, and Ding decided, okay. When he repeated, I thought maybe he should have played on, but that's probably a stupid thought or something like that, right? I mean, it's... No, it was just a good game of chess, as I saw it.
Yeah, and he said his friends helped him with his emotional problems. Must be nice. And he was ready. He felt brave enough to sit at the board.
Yeah.
This we have to talk about at some point. It looks ridiculous if there's no one at the board for big stretches of the match. Like, how can we pretend to be serious game or a sports if it's two guys sitting in their restrooms in some armchair and coming out every 5 minutes?
No, I think they should
to make a
just. If I would be FIDE president, which is more likely than Peter being FIDE president, well,
much more likely.
While boss, quite unlikely. Let's face it. I would just remove the screen in the restroom. I mean, okay, you can stay in the restroom, but you don't see the position. Your clock might be running. Who knows? You can eat as much as you want. You can sleep as much as you want, but you don't think about the position. Are you?
Yeah, that's a quick fix. I would have just one big playing hall where you have a little area in the back where there's food and drinks, and you can have two chairs there where they can sit if they don't want to be at the board. But the cameras can see the whole room, and you can see the players. There's no monitor. You can see the players in proximity of the board, so they can still go chill a little. But we have to be able to see them and not disappearing into some tiny room at all times. Peter is shaking his head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I generally thought that by rules, if it's your turn to move, you're obliged to be at the board, right?
I don't know what the rules are.
I really thought so.
You can't leave the board when it's your turn to move. You're not obliged to be there because you
maybe like that. Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I generally think the player should have a rest area. I think it's too stressful to hang out there for six hours and just. I mean, having a camera on you all the time, I think it's too much. You should be allowed
to. There's a camera in the rest area at you all the time.
Sorry?
There's a camera in the rest area.
Yeah, and that I'm against. I mean, I don't like that we have pictures of Ding being depressed in a warm white coat and closing his eyes. I think that is weird. I understand also an empty table seems problematic in a way, but I like that the players have to have some kind of rest. I think that is.
I mean, you can rest before the game and after.
Yeah, no. This is fully agree with Jan.
Well, it's a 6-hour game. There's no other sports that lacks that time.
That's why you can walk around with your opponent's move.
Are you kidding?
Get a drink. I mean, you can sit in some chair.
Have you ever watched some tennis?
Also, how many tournaments has any of us or anybody who hasn't played a World Championship match played where you have a private restroom? Number is 0. And you can play a 6-hour game without a private restroom. Everybody's doing that in 99% of their games.
Yeah, 100. No, that's absolutely ridiculous. They should change it. And
I strongly disagree.
Yeah, okay.
So you have no arguments, so you just...
No, I have plenty of arguments. I think that they should be given some rest, that it's a World Championship match. It's absurdly stressful, and that they have some place to go and get some rest is fine. I understand it becomes too much, but I also think it becomes too much if they have nowhere to hide. Then we end up that they're going to sit on the toilet, which also is ridiculous.
It's public.
Sorry?
This should remain public. So it should be filmed all the time. It's what we disagree on, basically. You don't think it's part of the show, actually?
No, not all the time. No, I love chess. I think it's incredibly exciting. I don't think I would have found Fischer Spassky more interesting if I could see Fischer in his rest area. I just couldn't care less, to be honest. I think it's tremendously exciting already.
Yeah, but we are sort of chess insiders. I don't think a casual viewer can understand the empty board.
I mean, I think chess has other problems. I mean, we can talk about that. But, I mean, I don't think that's particularly the problem. I mean, they made chess absurdly well on television in Norway for 5-6 hours during World Championship matches. I don't think it depends on these kind of things. You can make it exciting. I understand if the board is empty all the time, but I thought it's been a very great match, and it's more sort of a self-created problem rather. I mean, I don't think we have any less viewers or sponsors due to that. I simply don't think that's the problem. Now we end up in FIDE again, but we start coming up with excuses why chess is not popular, but I don't think it has anything to do with that.
I'm not making any excuse. I just think it's a very bad look for chess to have the empty board. It makes the whole show weird, but it's gotten better because Ding finally has the confidence to sit at the chessboard, which is nice. And that brings us to game number 4, Return of the Ding. Ding with the white pieces plays 1c4, as many a pundit predicted the night before in their Twitch stream, Yanistan TV. Check it out. Amazing, amazing content. Yeah, it's a natural choice. I would think we thought e4 was a bluff in Vaikanze. And d4, if you're not ready to play the Catalan in the first game, you're not repeating this h3. So where do you go? You have to win a game. I thought, yes, c4 was a very, very logical, also a bit obvious choice. What do you guys think?
I liked it. Again, in my tweets, I expected 1c4 for game 1. For game 2, it didn't happen. But Ding got something that he kind of liked. But I'm very, very curious how he will manage to go through a match like this. Is he actually going to come up with 7-1 game ideas? It almost feels like it, but it's not that easy.
I think there are plenty of Rapport Bundesliga games that they can still
Yeah, but the guy,
mine for content.
Vichugov is checking them carefully now, right? It's
Maybe they're on it.
Yeah.
As you both said, it was very much expected. So I don't know if I like it or not, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But I was very surprised by the level of Nepo's prep. It was very
Nepo.
I think he was bluffing. I think he was bluffing knight h5, knight f4.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was very poor anyway. His play was very poor, and he was simply slightly worse without Ding doing anything special. Now, after knight f4 takes, he's slightly worse, right?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. Yeah.
But also, do you think Ding's prep is incredibly deep? For instance, I looked at some positions. I think, let's say bishop g4, knight d2. I forgot some rook d8 move. You can still play some kind of later, some kind of maybe black plays b6. You play the c5 sacrifice, and you get some compensation. You think he's sort of been very practical into this, or you think he's just ended up in this position today?
No, he just ended up. If his prep is deep, he doesn't play bishop d3 like that.
No,
is a big mistake in
computer.
Computer
you don't check, yeah.
I don't think you look at bishop knight f4 yet. Although it was Richie's game still.
Yeah.
No, I thought rook fe1 he played rather quickly in a way, right? But,
yeah, maybe that was the end.
So I apologize. He only knew about knight h5 f4 in that position, and he just came. So
one thing should be observed, though. Lamy was not cheating. He was tweeting before game 2 that he said, "I cannot predict what Ding is going to do, but one thing is for sure: his bishop is going to end up on d2." It actually did neither game, so. And I would have, I agree with Lamy. That was very much to be expected. He would play something. He is playing somewhat atypical structures for him so far in a way, right?
I don't know. I think within d4 and c4, he's always been flexible. It's not like
maybe you're right.
He's never played knight f3, knight c3, or the e3 Nimzo, or the Kasparov structure as a lifelong d4, c4 player. I think he's very much in his home turf. Of course, the bishop ends on g2 often, but I don't think he's bound to that.
No, I don't know. Well, today was impressive for him. Of course, also pretty poor from Nepomniachtchi in a way, right? Well, they've both shown, in my opinion, considerable weakness so far. Of course, you can argue Ding played extremely well today, but it wasn't that difficult, was it? Or
I think today was a story of one move. Like they both made some good moves, some bad moves earlier. But if instead of this knight d4, which was the decisive mistake, allowing the exchange sacrifice and the game is basically over, if Nepomniachtchi plays g5 there, I don't know who's better, whose position is easier to play. Anything can happen.
Okay.
And I even had the feeling Black's position might be a little easier to handle. So I don't think we can praise Ding for all the genius play leading up to that blunder.
No, I was only on my phone at that point, and it was basically raining, so that meant there was no sort of line for the ride. So basically, I wasn't like in a loop in the water, water slides. We did water slides for 30 minutes at that point. So when I was out of the water slides, he was like +3. So, but so I thought he was better all the way, but not at all. No.
No. It was very
complicated position. Computer said 0 if you let him run, but I thought it might be slightly easier to play for Black at this point. But then he blitzes out knight d4, and the rest after rook d4 is
that looks
kind of play for play of Ding's level.
No,
knight d4 is Jan from Dubai. Played in 1 minute. it's Nepo from Dubai. So I don't know if he learned.
But is it Nepo from Dubai? I mean, well, he made this huge blunder when he was behind on -2. But I mean,
Yeah.
these kind of, well, let's say bishop d3 back to c2 for Ding on knight d2 by knight d4, sorry, by Jan. This kind of blunders we didn't really see in the beginning in Dubai, did we?
Not in the
think-
beginning, but later on.
I think it's just Jan. I think he got unlucky because he's always been taking even difficult decisions very quickly. And he calculated knight d4, queen f4, takes, c6, probably calculated some long line, also assessed that correctly. But then he doesn't double check if there's another move, and sometimes it can backfire. I think he just counted, oh, you have this bias. Okay, rook is worth more than a knight, so sometimes you don't consider that move. And after that, it's just game over.
But it's funny, but you actually, well, of course it's bad calculation, but you also say it's kind of bad luck in terms of that, well, this kind of gambles you take, and quite often they work well. So while you might not have checked it carefully, it didn't matter. Just today, it simply mattered, and that costs. That's what you're saying.
Can happen sometimes. I think it's to some extent built into his style that he doesn't double, triple check, but he goes with his gut and makes moves quickly. And very often it also works nicely, and he puts pressure because he's such a quick calculator.
No, I think that's
bad luck,
why.
of course.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, if Ding start to play like he was playing in 2019, I think that's why I think Nepo has very little chances because he's making too many of this simply. So that's why against Magnus, I mean, the first match, and I guess it would be even a rematch would be exactly the same because Ding 2019 on Magnus, they don't, you can't do that simply. You will get punished simply every time. So it's nice to put pressure, to play fast and so on, but it works still some level. And I guess against Magnus, it backfired big time. And against Ding, if he starts playing well, then it will be the same.
So, Laurent, what odds do you give us for taking Nepomniachtchi after 4 games to win the match?
You should ask your. I agree. For a very long time, for the first time, I saw some tweet and I saw that Garry said it's 80-20. I agree with him. So I let you bet with your boss. So you have already some money transfer between you guys. So I guess you just can make. You maybe you get paid for your. As far as I know,
it's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, you probably do, and so you can make.
So you
learning a lot. Learning a lot.
Just to annoy me, you would do it, right? Yeah.
It was certainly a factor, not the main one.
So you can take, but I agree that.
But if you think it's 80%, then okay, like 3-1 is a massive bargain for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I already have a bet on Ding on 1-1, so I won't name the guy, but yes.
Is he French number 2?
He has 2 names. He's a French
Frenchman
guy.
with
2
names.
Yeah, 1-on-1. So yeah.
Is he still French number 2, or is Ali Reza inactive at this point?
No, he's still. No, Ali Reza will come back. Don't worry.
I'm not too worried. All right, so the score in the World Championship match is 2-2. As you can see, the momentum has changed to Ding Liren so much that pundits like Anish Giri and Laurent Fressinet give him an 80% chance, which is, of course, nuts. But the momentum is with him at this point. I find it very hard to predict what's going to happen next. Peter, you're the veteran.
Do we believe in these kind of big momentum things? I mean, no, of course it looks better for Ding, especially the score, and he starts to play normally and such. But I mean, it also feels a bit random, right? I mean, well, as you said, it's one bad move by Jan today. Then we think, okay, he's he's extremely nervous. Ding is in great shape, and well, before. I mean, we also like to create this kind of narratives, right? I mean,
it's what you do, no? Like after 2 games, we all said the match was over, and now the match is over again when it's 2-2. It's still 10 games between 2 evenly rated match players.
Yeah, but I mean, we have to remember that when Nepo lost game 6, okay, he was behind on the score, and it was Magnus. I agree. It's different, but still, such a massive tilt. I mean, after that we shouldn't, and he didn't prove since that time that he was reacting much better to losses because he didn't lose in the candidates. So we'll find out. I'm not sure. I don't think you can change actually after 30. I mean, I think it's too late. So let's see.
Good news
I
for
mean,
all of us.
yeah. So
So it's
I
too
yeah,
late
think
for
what
Peter
has-
and me. You still have a chance, yeah?
But
yeah,
also,
exactly.
I mean,
No, but the player doesn't change after 30. I mean, come
well,
on.
Ding also seems
Uh,
vulnerable, right? Of course, now maybe well, everybody thought he was out of it. He could play without kind of any kind of pressure. He will come back. Now suddenly he will start to think, okay, I'm the better chess player. I should win this thing. I will be the world champion. It will be
I
great.
mean,
Blah
look
blah
at the
blah.
picture
I mean,
with Richie.
exactly. He says, well, also he says that they will have pictures of me in all chess clubs in the world. I mean, he will also start feeling pressure soon. I mean, well, a rest day, of course, can be good, but it can also suddenly make you incredibly nervous in a way.
No, but
But
the
it can
rest days.
also be bad for tilt. I know
Yeah,
from myself, if you lost a game and then you have a rest day to Steam, it
course.
doesn't always make things better. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
hard to
mean,
say.
yeah, but
I like
it's
rest day
extremely
after
hard
result.
to say. I mean,
But yeah, for Nepo, let's see, it will be a big test, and let's see. No, but I mean, vulnerable. You're talking about Ding and Richie, the team. I mean, like, look at them. Look at the picture. I mean, they
So
look
wholesome.
vulnerable.
So wholesome.
I mean, they look amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
Richie will show some games that he played last weekend in Austria, and okay, and they will have the prep for next game. I mean, this is amazing stuff.
but
No, I mean, like, I'm just a fanboy. I mean, actually, Ding called Richie instead of me, and I'm very happy. Good job, Ding. You're my boy.
no, that we all agree. But no, but also, I mean, do we believe this narrative? We don't think there is sort of
I think we are
a
very close.
big Chinese novelty factory. Well, they haven't exactly shown it yet.
It looks very genuine. There might be
Yeah.
some fact checker somewhere. There probably are, but it looks very genuine. Richie is the guy, and it's the two of them hanging out. No,
they're gonna take down the world like
Actually,
this.
I remember this BTX3 in the fourth game. I remember that Magnus was one of the first one to play it. Was it
Stopalov,
with at the Ding camp? I mean, Ding was there, maybe. Maybe you actually, I mean, checked it with him. This BTX3. I can't remember if Ding was there. But I remember in some camp we were checking that. Okay, it's a long time ago. It's almost 10 years ago. But I don't remember if it was the Ding's camp, but it's possible.
So you wanna take credit?
Yeah, that's true. I should check this. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's Laurent's idea.
Always.
Maybe it was at Laurent's camp with Richie where you showed it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
know there was
So
a
many
famous
connections.
Ding camp, but yeah. No, but also, I mean, how do we think this works? I mean, basically, the Chinese Federation says, okay, we can give you 20 guys to work for you. Said, no, I'm just going to go with Richie instead. Or
they tell him we have $500,000 budget for you, and he says, "Excellent, that's Richie's price. Let's go."
no, I don't know. No, it just puzzles me how this sort of, okay, this is the match of your life, and I'll just stick with one guy. We're gonna have fun. I'll learn some English.
Actually, I have a funny story. I mean, like I took Richie as a second when he was young in 2013 in Paris. So same as Ding. So he showed me this.
You beat Kramnik, we know.
Yeah. That's the year after you won Mind Games.
Yeah,
right?
but I can tell you that I was out of book after move 5 in this Chigoin. I listened to him and I won easy. So yeah, Richie is a great guy.
Yeah. We're talking, of course, about the world-class player Richard Rapport, in case you're confused by who Richie is.
Yeah.
These pictures of Rapport and Ding embracing, shaking hands is more than a handshake, really, after the games with Richie looking very pleased and Ding with his shy but satisfied smile. So heartwarming. Really was. What do we know about Team Ding? I hear Team Nepomniachtchi. I hear all kinds of gossip, but nothing too official. No, we know Vityugov is there.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Tomaszewski is commentating live.
Out. Yeah, he's doing commentary.
Out.
There were
Potkin was seen in Moscow, right?
Yeah, Potkin. There were some rumors, but it looks like he's not as involved, at least as in the last match. He's not on site. He's not the coordinator, whatever you want to call it. Then Lego, I don't know. He wouldn't be on site. It's possible he helps remotely.
He's not doing commentary somewhere?
I haven't seen him. But
no, that's of course somewhat of a tell, but sure. No, I don't know anything. Well, also maybe
I actually did ask him. I saw him in Bundesliga. And I did ask him. He said no comment.
Yeah, okay.
So, which is
Wow.
nice, I think, in both ways. I mean, if he's helping or not.
He's
It's
also
nice.
a correct guy, so he would feel even if he's not helping, he would
Yeah.
feel it's the right thing
Yeah,
to
exactly.
say, no
So
comment.
that didn't give any.
Well, we would, of course,
infos.
say, no, the guy didn't bring me back.
Yeah.
I'm open for business.
Yeah.
Peter's a good guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, Leko, sorry. Leko Peter, as I
Okay.
say in Hungary.
Yeah. No, there's surprisingly few rumors in that way. I mean, or maybe we're just disconnected, but I didn't particularly think so. I mean, normally there will be more, but maybe it's just this Magnus effect of having remote stuff, right? You somehow.
Where's Kramnik?
Thailand.
Well,
I heard he's in
Kramnik?
Thailand.
Wow, that's very sus.
No, isn't he in Astana playing this tournament?
Oh, he's in Astana. The plot thickens.
I thought so. I mean, that
He's in
there
Astana
is this
playing what?
tournament. Well, there is this. Again, I'm sorry. Is it
The
Abdul
Bibi
Malik?
Sara tournament?
Exactly. Yeah, and. Well, again, I mean, we are butting into my FIDE segment, but it's not connected with FIDE, but it's still Turlov sponsoring it, so there is Russian players. I mean, okay. Anyway, but yada yada. But I think Kramnik is playing it, so at least he will be in Astana if he's not there already. And
Speaking about Kramnik, very smooth transition.
exactly.
Before I get to my very smooth transition, we should mention, of course, daily Chicken Chess Club recaps of every game on YouTube in changing formations. Just Laurent, because frankly, he has nothing else to do. Has been there all the time. But yeah, it's been fun doing those, so check those out.
Yeah.
And I saw Kramnik last week in Berlin,
That's awesome.
where I was doing commentary on this Armageddon thing. Kramnik was playing strongly, still incredibly well prepared, you could see, even against much more active players. Kramnik is still strong in the opening and also choosing smartly. Very impressive there. But he got flagged by those kids, by Abdusattorov, by Gukesh, and he didn't seem to enjoy it much. Laurent, you as a spectator, what were your feelings?
No, well, it took me like a few days to find the website and to find the videos and so on. But when I found it, it was an amazing show with a great duo with you and Jovanka. I mean, like great commentator and great show. I like the format. It's two blitz games. Armageddon, followed by Armageddon. And of course, there is this. I mean, it's great to invite Kramnik there, to invite some veterans with younger guys. And yeah, I mean, like it was fun. It was a lot of fun. First, he flagged Dubov.
Yep,
then,
with 1 second each.
Yeah.
Dubov, he made a little detour with his king. He was going to go to F1. It was illegal. He went to D1. He lost on time. But yeah, against Gukesh, he was completely winning in the Armageddon, but got flagged. And then that story repeated against Abdusattorov. As we said, the kids moved the pieces much more cleanly than Kramnik down the stretch. But yeah, I was entertained. And Kramnik still has a great chess level. That's for sure.
No, actually, it's not. I think the show was nice. You know, even visually when you were watching. I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed it. They should make some. They should promote it better, because if I don't know the website, or if I cannot find the website, I'm probably not the only one, and I'm following chess on a regular basis, let's say. So yeah, that's a bit a pity.
That's a lie.
Yeah,
if you're not being paid, you don't follow chess.
That's true.
There has been several.
You can pay me, Armageddon. You can pay me if you pay Jan. I can be the appeals committee.
You can be appeals committee.
Appeals committee. Vladimir will be banned.
Did you guys hear? Because I know this would be shocking news to you, that I was robbed from my 5-star hotel room. Shout out to the organizers giving me a very nice hotel in Berlin. So I'm doing this show. I'm leaving the hotel room because I'm a big professional at 1940. Show starts at 8. I was there before. I just went back. I come back at around 22:30. I realize the window is open. I don't think much of it. I just close it. And then I see my laptop is gone.
Wow.
My iPad is gone. My microphone is gone. My headset is gone. All my stuff is gone.
Oh, shit.
Okay. If one of our listeners stole it, Tim Carlson is willing to buy Magnus Jan's note. So please start the bidding. Okay. You actually lost your laptop, you're saying, yeah?
No, the story continues.
Damn.
So I went to the reception, called the police, blah, blah, blah. Police came, the investigation. And yeah, my window, I was on the 2nd floor. It's a very nice hotel in downtown Berlin. but there's some garden below it. I'd never looked at the window, hadn't touched it, but apparently
Fell out.
there was some way to get into it from outside through the emergency exit, whatever. So yeah, all my stuff gone. I filed the police report. I went to sleep because I'm a psychopath. I didn't change rooms. I said, nah, it's fine. I'm out of stuff anyway. Why would they come back? I wake up at 9 a.m. the next morning because the police from Berlin-Neukölln, which is a more notorious district of Berlin, calls me and say, we found your laptop and your iPad. You can come here, pick it up. And there was no tracking on the devices, so I still have absolutely no clue how they found those. My best guess is that the thieves were afraid that these things could be tracked, so if they can't get rid of them quickly, that they drop them somewhere. Because I kept all my other stuff, which was less valuable, but like I had a fancy webcam, microphone, and that kind of things. Those are gone. But I got my computer and my iPad back, which of course is the ones I really cared about.
Sounds absolutely lucky, no?
Yeah.
No, I thought there was zero chance.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I went there, got it back. They wouldn't tell me how they got it, but not complaining.
No,
And then?
you shouldn't. It sounds like okay. Wow. And they didn't tell you any kind of story where they found them or anything like that. That's none of your business, no.
I don't know. Maybe they're not allowed to ongoing police nonsense. I have no idea, but yeah, they wouldn't say.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bit shocking because I mean, I do some backups once in a while, but I guess you guys know how it is. It's not
gonna
100%, and of course, I'm also panicking. I think it was fine. I don't want to encourage too many future thieves with like two-factor authentication, but you never know. I don't even know what was open on my computer and how easy it is to get into online banking or whatever nonsense I could have in my mails. So it's anxious moments. But yeah, I think not too much damage was done. Shout out to Berlin police. Shout out to the hotel. Shout out also to the World Chess organizers who were incredibly helpful. They immediately showed up there and said, yeah, if you need a backup laptop or anything, how can we help? So everyone was being very nice, but in the end, I think it was still dumb luck that the thieves probably panicked and dropped it somewhere, or they were caught during some other stuff. I have no idea what happened. But yeah, it was exciting.
Amazing if, let's say they hide all the stuff somewhere. I mean, if they get busted just after they take your stuff, it sounds weird in a way. But
no, when I came to the police, the weird thing was I had been shopping literally, I think 2 days before because I was buying some streaming equipment, some webcam, some microphone, some some light Litra glow. Anyway, I was buying nonsense, and I still had this shopping bag, and the shopping bag was also gone from my room. And when I came to the police, they had this shopping bag, which was mine, but there was not just my stuff in there, or not all of my stuff, but my laptop and my iPad, but also some other stuff that wasn't mine. So maybe they found some other stuff on the way to that they had to drop. I don't know. Very surreal experience. And as always, of course, we know you should back up your data. You should have stuff in the cloud. You should have 2FA and so on. But usually you also don't believe anything's going to happen to you, right? I mean, you think it's sound advice, but when nothing happens, wake up call.
Yeah, it's not going to change us. We're not going to start backing
up.
No,
I still haven't backed up a thing, but
no. You got lucky.
I should. Just dumb luck.
Yeah, good for you. No, but it's shocking, of course, in a way, in a hotel and stuff like that.
Also, literally, like in a 5-star hotel in the fanciest neighborhood or the most central neighborhood of Berlin, maybe that's more dangerous because they go there to look for stuff. But I mean, you just don't think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No. Okay. Good story.
Happy ending. What else is happening in the chess world? The Chessable Masters, part of the Champions Chess Tour, was won by a new Chicken Chess Club fan. I'm not sure if he's a fan. Hikaru Nakamura. Congratulations. Laurent. Hikaru has finally mentioned us on his stream, which
I will try to work on my French accent. I should work on my French accent, apparently, because he couldn't understand what I was saying. Apparently,
probably toxic hate as usual.
No. He showed his ability not to lose, to fight, and not to make any blunders. Beat Magnus, a bit of luck, of course, mostly from Magnus, and then beat twice Fabi in the grand finale. So in the final match, he had to win twice in the same day against Fabi, which he did. So amazing player. I was actually paid to follow that.
Actually, his last 3 matches were against Fabi. No, he lost 1 and then he won 2. I was checking in the app, and there were felt like 25 Karana Nakamura games to end that tournament.
Not fully.
Yeah, he had to beat Magnus in the meantime.
Magnus was in between. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he had to beat Magnus, which was incredible. Actually, it felt easier to. I don't know how you feel, guys, about that, but I think it's in a way less difficult to win against Fabi twice, other than beating Magnus once. But I don't know. I felt he was not when he
Fabi,
entered.
if you're listening, opinions by Laurent Fressinet are not shared by the rest of this podcast.
No, he entered the final day.
I mean, I should get a bit of credit. I'm the one saying that Fabi always has chances against Nakamura, and he actually completely outplayed him in the first of the matches. So I was very much looking forward to being, a star on this podcast. But of course, events seem to take a turn for the worse. I also think that Magnus gets a bit shortchanged. I mean, yeah, he lost to Naka, but he was actually pretty dominating there. And that it was pretty bad for Magnus Standards that he didn't win it. He was much better in one of the games. Then it was 1-1. And he was completely winning in the Armageddon. Then he, lost the win. Then he was winning again. Then he lost the win, and then he mouse slipped in the end. And I was sitting in the room below, and I can see that the speed of sound travels somewhat quicker than the speed on the internet because, the scream that everybody saw, I heard it like 5 seconds before. So I thought, he's still winning at least. But then, of course, it's the chorus that's slow. So, yeah.
No, in a way, it's also the usual story that Nakamura is incredibly resilient, also in bad positions at this point. It's no longer news or debatable that it's skill because he does it pretty much every time. But yeah, always impressive to see. The mouse slip by Magnus, the queen f6, that of course.
But
it's a bit of a freak occurrence.
Probably is not changing the result of the match. That's just
he might not win at that point.
No, a more dramatic end. But before that, he had several big chances and some kind of winning things. So no, that was of course a bit disappointing. But I understand I'm biased. I was hanging out in his Alp hut in the French Alps and was enjoying life, and then suddenly things went wrong.
But I don't get why Naka was complaining about Jan. I mean, we were only saying positive things about him.
I mean, I haven't heard it. I would.
That's
from what
true.
I read in my chat, it wasn't that he was complaining too heavily about us. So yeah, we're very honored that Hikaru would.
Well, he thought some of it was that because Laurent translating French words into English, they might not be exact in a way.
No, I mean, like he was complaining about me because I said that him and Garry. I took Garry just as an example.
That was a good
They
addition.
belong to top 5, not to world championship, to world champion class. And he says there is no. I mean, basically, top 5 is very far from world champion. Yes and no. I mean, like Federer.
I was also complaining. No, on Anisha's behalf, I must have been complaining.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yes and no. I mean, like Anand is not the same as Ivanchuk or Gelfand. I mean, like it will be. There's different class.
But also, if Nakamura draws that last round game against Ding, he's playing the match right now, right? I mean, it's not like that was super far away.
Not super far away, but
drawing an equal position away.
Yeah, but okay. No, you are taking a special case here because Magnus is not playing. I'm sorry, but it's
of course no one's arguing that Magnus is the best player in the world, and if that's your standard, you can say no one's belonging to the world champion class.
No,
that's in the candidates.
I say it's a different class. Like, okay, there is in one class I would put Karpov, Kasparov, Anand, Kramnik, Carlsen, let's say, and then in a different class I would say there is Ivanchuk, Gelfand, Nakamura, Garry. Okay, I think it's not really unfair to have this kind of caliber, different.
No, the
caliber.
way I understood it, what you said was that you think Ding, Fabi, and Nepomniachtchi are in a different class. I would guess that's what he took offense with, not that he's not listed there with Carlsen and Kasparov.
Dink
But also
Fab-
my memory is bad. But I thought that was your point.
in a way, yes. I think Ding and Fabi are in a different class, than Naka. Not, I mean, in classical chess.
Not Nepomniachtchi.
Not Nepomniachtchi, no.
I just want to make the general point that he was being very critical of the two of you, not of me.
Yeah, that was weird because
That's very common. If you go out there in the chess
I
world,
know.
people usually tell me, "This guy Peter, he seems such a nice guy." But
Yeah.
you guys are, yeah.
No, I know. I can imagine.
Yeah, okay, but greetings to Naka.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah,
I think
no.
first of all, we should be. I mean, it's like when some celebrity criticizes
Yeah.
somebody, we say, "Wow, he knows us." I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan.
So,
Very sus, chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, big fan of his streams, for sure.
No, it almost feels like we should fight back with some kind of new insults to keep this thing going. But
Game theory wise,
just
we
did, no?
as the small up and coming podcast, of course, should take shots at
yeah.
the juggernauts out there to become relevant. But we're also awkward at fighting. That's the problem. Like, nah, come on, Peter. In person, you're not good. Like in tweeting, you're great. But once someone replies, then it goes away. Also, this is your voice, so there's no, except for
No,
Satoshi.
of course, Naka. Well, Naka, I'm going to defend, but
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else is there? Speaking of world champion class, Garry Kasparov turned 60 today, right?
Yeah,
At the time of
you're
recording.
stealing my content here. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Well, I wrote it down, Gary 60.
No,
and now
I
I'm mentioning
wanted
it.
to.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but let's. I mean, let's wish him all the best, of course. My childhood hero.
For sure.
Yours as well, I guess.
Not at all.
For you.
I never liked him as a chess player.
For Jan, it was Lasker, but
Yeah.
and for Peter Petrosian.
No.
But yeah, for me it was Kasparov. So yeah, big respect for Guy and all
No.
the
I
rest.
mean, me and Jan made a series. We concluded he's the GOAT. I still think so. I mean, if that loses my job at Magnus, I will retract it. But I still think he is. So unless.
Yeah. Had Magnus played this match and won it, who knows? But yeah, he didn't.
That's true.
Okay.
So Gary's still sitting there, and us kids that grew up with chess in the 90s, I would say, of course we grew up with Lyon, New York, 1990, Kasparov, Karpov. I watched all these matches, rooting for.
This puzzles me. I mean, well, we are the Chicken Chess Club. I mean, you sound like you're in love with Gary's chess. I mean, that I don't
Because
get.
we
I
cannot
thought we enjoyed Kramnik's Berlin, so we thought like Karpov's Caracan. I mean, you're actually saying you enjoyed his Naidov and King's Indian? I just don't believe
I was later in life. In 1990, I was, 10, 11? I didn't know I was a chicken yet. I started playing the King's Indian and the Naidov. Then quickly, I understood. I mean,
So it's a bit like you like
Can't give up
Superman
that
and
space.
Batman at this age. I mean, there's nothing sort of
I was never a big Superman guy. Like, he's
fair
boring.
enough. Sure.
But yeah, stylistically later I felt closer to Kramnik and so on. But these matches, I think, were a big part of anybody's chess upbringing. And even if you don't have the same style, you can still appreciate greatness.
Yeah, and it was going on. Even this 90 match, of course, not mention this 84 match, but even this 90 matches was going on. I remember it was.
How old were you in 84, Laurent? You keep saying you're so much younger than us. Now you follow the 84 match?
No, I didn't follow at all. I mean, I didn't know how to play chess, but 90, I remember. 1990, it was when I started to play chess. So I was
90, I followed. This F3 in the Spanish, big novelty.
Yeah, you were already much more educated than me because I'm much older. But no, I remember I mean, it was lasting forever. And the games were very long, adjourned games. So it was kind of magic, you had to wait the next day actually to know the result of the game. Because, I mean, I had to wait, I had to watch.
I thought it completely ruins the experience if you couldn't see him any second during the match. But apparently you still enjoyed it.
I was watching it. I mean, it was on French TV the next day.
Yeah.
So I was just watching the show the next day.
You were watching live broadcast with the empty boards?
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for FIDE, no?
No.
I think it might be time. The correspondence update?
Yes.
I can't take both.
Anyway, I won a game.
Congrats. Against the non-computer guy?
Well, I think I will ask him when we finish both games. My best guess is that he plays.
You can't tell.
I think he plays a couple of games at the beginning himself, moves himself, and then he switches on the computer. Or alternatively, because it's 960, he put up the wrong position. I cannot tell. But well, he was dead lost after 3 moves, and then he started playing computer moves. So my guess is that just he thinks, okay, 960, let me make the first 10 moves myself and see how it goes, and then I just switch on the computer. I don't know.
That was too late, yeah?
No,
Yeah.
congratulations. And is it a qualifier? Will you qualify for a World Championship tournament
this is
or something?
not. This is it is a qualifier, but just for a place in the Hall of Fame. But I mean, to be honest, I'm a bit split. I think I'm gonna qualify because another guy made a draw. So my best hunch is that at least I should get an equal tie. At least I should get equal tie breaks. But with a bit of luck, I will do better than that. So I don't know. But I mean, it's not that fascinating because, as I said, it's basically just keeping the computer busy. So I lost a bit of appetite. It's nice to chat with some of the guys, but the actual chess part,
I
I'm
can
sort of
imagine.
gone a bit cold of. But of course, now I'm in a competition, right? I'm going to take it serious, of course. So I'm gonna give it my all. But we can go over the games at some point if you would like to, really. But
What do you mean by giving it your all? You're gonna let the computer run 2 hours instead of 1 hour, or like
No,
how do you give your all?
No, I spent at some point. I mean, well, you guys don't get the nervousness that's there. I mean, should I sacrifice a
Not at all.
pawn? Should I play this calm thing? Then at some point in the podcast, Laurent says, well, I don't know which move you're going to choose, but I can tell you one thing: whatever you're going to do, it's going to be a draw. And I thought, yeah, he's right.
Exactly.
But I'm still going to be extremely nervous doing it. So, but yeah, no, it takes also. I mean, you feel, damn it, okay. I only have 8 days for 2 moves. I'm in complete time pressure now. You start to panic, right? I mean, it's a rough world out there.
It's life-changing, I would say.
It is.
Speaking of time pressure,
Yeah.
if we want to get to the FIDE segment, we have to cut the correspondence segment.
Okay, fair enough.
Short here.
Okay,
but yeah,
I'm starting to
really
live
quick.
up. I'm warming up for the FIDE thing, right? Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Good.
please.
Well,
Laurent, do you have anything to say before we let Peter do a thing?
Happy birthday, guy.
Happy birthday. And that means we come to everyone's favorite segment. 5 minutes of FIDE with Peter Heine Nielsen. Enjoy.
Yes. Yeah, but we are going to my segment, but the topic is going to be the same. Garry Kasparov turns 60, and while everybody celebrates him for his chess things, I think you say he's an idol. For me, he's an idol in terms of Putin criticism and FIDE criticism. I mean, today I honored him by going back to watching videos of his 2014 election campaign, and it was very, very insightful to see him being extremely critical and interesting about that. I'm a little bit unsure if I lost internet now, so maybe I'm just talking, or these guys left. Who knows? It can be both. But Kasparov in 2014 was basically discarded by the chess world, and even I thought, okay, this guy just goes on and on with the same points. But you can read his book. Winter is Coming. It's an amazing book. It should have gotten much more interest when it happened in 2014 because he predicts scaringly well what has happened over the last year. So I will recommend that. I mean, the same passion he brought to chess, he took into system criticism, of course, a bit of FIDE, but much more important of the modern Putin's Russia. And I respect him a lot for that. It's strange, but I thought while his chess ideas, like the King's Indian and the Knight, of course, apparently a little bit perhaps too aggressive, despite being the best chess player ever, he was maybe more prophetic in politics to a certain extent. Anyway, enough about that. Nepomnia, she gave an interview. Well, I always feel pity for chess players in world championships. They're under tremendous pressure, but one point should be made though. He's mentioning, he's calling the war against Ukraine a tragic catastrophe. I think it's very important to say no. It is a crime. I mean, it's a crime being done by the Russian regime. We cannot talk about a catastrophe. A catastrophe is an earthquake with no one who is guilty. This one has something very, very guilty, obviously. Then back to Peskov, the Putin spokesperson, but also the sort of leader of the board of trustees in the Russian Chess Federation, right? It's the guy we actually see talking about this absolutely horrible video we saw reminding one of ISIS with the execution of a Ukrainian prisoner of war. I mean, that we have guys saying this is a fake on behalf of Putin and the Kremlin, who is so involved in the chess world. It's not great at all. And well, the latest is that today in The Hague, Ukraine won a big case against Russia in terms of financial arbitrage of that when Crimea was annexed, Russia took over the local gas companies and assets there, and they are supposed to pay now Ukraine 5 billion euros, I think. It's probably not going to happen, but the angle I'm leading to is, of course, that, well, shortly after Crimea was annexed, Dvorkovich was the one representing at least starting negotiations with China about certain things like that. You can, if you Google it, which I obviously had done, find stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just babbling and hoping that some of the guys will actually return to the video broadcast, but Gustafsson still seems to have left. Of course,
I'm here. I was listening.
You're here. I could also criticize FIDE for having players leaving the hotel because their rooms is too big or too small or stuff like that. But well, I don't know. Are we just gonna wait for Gusti to come back, or should I just keep talking? I don't know how it works.
You didn't use your 5 minutes. There's still 1 minute.
I could. Yeah, I can.
So
well,
that was the strangest complaint I ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, the chess.com guy, my client, said also that he didn't like the environment there, which of course I think is not ideal in a way, but I don't know. There are several things to talk about. Dvorkovich today, for instance, appeared in an interview on Russian Match TV. As I mentioned, Match TV is owned by Gazprom Media, who's heavily sanctioned. I don't think a FIDE president should go there. We can come up with several things, but no, let's just chill until Gusti gets here. I have made several.
So you're tired and you want to sleep. You had a tough day.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, they will. FIDE will make new things. I will. Oh, I can play the classic next time. Don't worry. If you have any
Did you mention Sutovsky? I don't think you mentioned Sutovsky.
Sutovsky, actually, but he's not replying to my tweets. He should, in my opinion.
But he mentioned it, no? Before the match started, that he won't reply during the match because he was busy.
But he's still tweeting a lot. I mean, well, Sutovsky was also starting to. I mean, well, there was this interview with Nepomniachtchi. He was starting to praise him, but let's not get into details of that. No, I mean,
yeah, I don't think Jan is coming back.
No, I don't think so. Should we just end it here and say Jan left? We can do that, right? Yeah. Makes sense.
I guess we should do that.
Or we can also just hang out, see if Jan actually comes back. You have anything to talk about? We can. I mean, not really.
What would be the opening? Game 5. We switch back to one e4.
I think he's gonna go back to e4. To be honest, I mean,
I would also think so.
d4 didn't work that well for him, and I still think that it didn't work well in terms of springing a surprise, but also it doesn't feel comfortable to him. I mean, if things is not going badly, it would be normal to sort of, well, it sounds stupid, but to go back to your roots, something that you are comfortable playing.
Exactly. Right? So it was my point, actually, in the recap. So watch out our recaps. And what do you think?
If Nepom doesn't get anything with white and it's a draw, it's not a disaster. But if he plays d4 and then something stupid, okay, it's really going to be horrible, right?
Yeah,
and,
so...
This concludes our 27 minutes of FIDE, and now Jan is back.
Oh, I was worried. I came back late because I see Laurent's already here.
You did. You did. We are talking about openings, and so you're expecting to repeat the marshal, right?
I would think so. Yeah, it's a good opening, and at this point, if he came with it, why change? They will have fixed this bishop c6, rook e1, probably repeated some sidelines. Maybe Richie told him, you know, instead of d5, here I played a game with d6 in the Romanian league. Check that out. You can go knight b8, knight bd7. Maybe he'll do that. Who knows?
No, but we basically thought that it's very likely it's going to be e4 for Nepom, right? I mean, he needs to stabilize in some way. Why start pushing in something he's not familiar with?
That's I agree.
I guess so. I was arguing that, well, he has something ready against the Nimzo, and he hasn't had to show it yet. In the Kasparov structure, at least you can fish for a bit of a computer opening edge if Ding repeats d5. So it wouldn't be the most illogical choice to give it one more try and see if they can get in their Nimzo idea, or if Ding is committed to the Kasparov. But it could also be later in the match. I think I agree that under these circumstances, the advice will probably be play it safe, play what you know best, which is 1e4, and play something.
Yeah, but also in this Carlsbad, it seems that recently they started playing all kind of weird setups with black, right? So, I mean, you know, it just doesn't strike me.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it just doesn't strike me as Nephom's natural habitat in a way.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I mean, if it's just trying to get some kind of typical structure being slightly better, I don't really see it. But maybe, well, maybe he doesn't take on d5 and move forward. Maybe he has some specific idea in mind. I don't know. Of course, it's not 100% it's going to be e4. It just feels like that would be extremely logical, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, hard to disagree too much. I felt in the match against Magnus, they were quite committed, which is also understandable, of getting the biggest numeric advantage while playing it tight. And there, probably the Karlsbad is a better bet than the Marshall when it comes to finding some 0-30 position, but it doesn't mean that much, of course.
No.
Anyway, we'll keep covering it, so check out our daily recaps on the Chicken Chess Club YouTube channel. We might bring in some more surprise guests, or we might not. That's the big intrigue.
I was hoping you would bring me back, to be honest, but okay, yeah.
We might have a guest with you, of course.
Yeah.
That makes the list much shorter of potential guests.
Yeah.
Maybe Hikaru.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
You and Hikaru, you can do one day.
It's just going to be a bromance, to be honest, but sure. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And we'll be back next week with another recap of the action. Hopefully. Until then, bye.
Bye-bye.